Maggie Peterson. Maggie's death in the very first Child's Play sets the tone for the entire franchise. Babysitting Andy should have been a simple gig. A little TV, a quiet night, and a few stern warnings to keep him in bed. But Andy keeps saying his good guy doll, Chucky, is alive. Maggie rolls her eyes, thinking it's just a kid's imagination. Still, something feels off. Toys shift around, strange noises echo, and shadows move where they shouldn't. Then in the kitchen, Maggie hears a thump. She turns, and Chucky swings a toy hammer straight into her face. The hit lands harder than you'd ever expect from a doll, sending her stumbling. She crashes backward through a window, the glass exploding around her before plummeting several stories. Her body smashes into a car below with a sickening crunch of bone and metal. Brutal because it's so sudden. Maggie isn't fighting Chucky or chasing him. She's just in the wrong place at the wrong time. One second she's scolding Andy, the next she's a broken mess on a car hood. It's quick, shocking, and shows right away that Chucky doesn't care who you are. If you're near him, you're in danger. John Bishop. John Bishop, the voodoo priest who first taught Charles Lee Ray his soul-transferring magic, meets one of the most ironic deaths in horror history. When Chucky arrives at his home, John knows instantly that trouble has come knocking. He tries to warn him that his body is becoming human and vulnerable, but Chucky isn't listening. With a doll made in John's image, Chucky begins the cruelest demonstration. He bends the doll's arm back, and John's real arm snaps with a sickening crack. He twists the doll's leg, and John screams in agony as the bone shatters. The torture is slow, methodical, and accompanied by Chucky's psychotic laughter. Every movement of the doll is mirrored by John's body, and he's powerless to stop it. Finally, Chucky plunges a knife into the doll's chest, and John clutches his own chest as blood pours from his mouth. He collapses dead, destroyed by the very voodoo arts he once controlled. It's brutal because it's not just murder, it's betrayal. Chucky doesn't just kill him, he proves his dominance by turning John's own teachings into a weapon. A death dragged out, agonizing, and poetic in its cruelty. Mattson. In Child's Play 2, PlayPal's executive Mattson becomes another example of why you should never underestimate a good guy doll. He loads Chucky into his car for what should be a simple trip. At first, the ride is normal, just a man, his phone, and a doll, but then Chucky springs to life. In a flash, he yanks a plastic bag over Mattson's head. The panic is immediate. Mattson thrashes in the driver's seat, clawing at the bag, his muffled scream filling the car. His hands slam against the window, his feet kick the pedals, but nothing helps. Chucky holds tight, enjoying every frantic second. The suffocation drags on and on, making the audience feel the claustrophobia. Each gasp of air grows weaker, each movement slower, until Mattson finally slumps forward, lifeless. Chucky chuckles in satisfaction, tossing the body aside. Brutal not because it's gory, but because it's helpless. It's slow, suffocating, and completely unavoidable. Mattson isn't stabbed or shot, he's smothered to death like a trapped animal, while his killer laughs inches away. If you're still watching, make sure to subscribe and leave a like on the video. Miss Kettlewell. Teachers don't usually end up as slasher victims, but Miss Kettlewell's fate in Child's Play 2 is unforgettable. She's strict, humorless, and convinced Andy is nothing but a problem child. When she catches him with Chucky during class, she punishes him by locking him in detention, alone with the killer doll. Later, when she returns to the classroom, the lights flicker. The room is silent. She calls Andy's name, but there's no answer. Suddenly, Chucky attacks, wielding a yardstick. The first blow cracks across her face, and she stumbles back. Then comes another and another, each one louder than the last. The sound of wood striking flesh echoes in the empty classroom. Miss Kettlewell screams, but the ruler keeps coming down, faster and harder. Finally, Chucky drives the yardstick straight into her chest, pinning her down for good. Brutal because it's humiliating. A teacher in her own classroom murdered with a school supply. Chucky turns a safe, everyday space into a slaughterhouse, and it makes the kill feel that much nastier. Grace Poole. The stern head of the orphanage in Child's Play 3, Grace Poole, doesn't stand a chance once Chucky makes her his target. She finds Andy with the good guy doll, scolding him for misbehaving, but Chucky doesn't wait. He lunges at her with a knife, stabbing fast and hard. Grace screams, stumbling backward, but the doll is relentless. Each stab lands with furious energy, blood splattering across her office walls and furniture. Chucky laughs hysterically as he stabs again and again, turning the attack into a frenzy. Grace's desperate cries fade as her body gives out, slumping into a bloody heap against the filing cabinet. The brutality here isn't in an elaborate setup, it's in the raw savagery. Chucky isn't clever or flashy here, he's just violent. Watching a tiny doll unleash such a vicious barrage of stabs is horrifying because it's so personal. Grace doesn't get a quick death. She gets terror, pain, and a room soaked in blood. Colonel Cochran, head of Kent Military School in Child's Play 3, is a man used to control. He shouts orders, demands respect, and terrifies his cadets. But when he sees Chucky alive and holding a weapon, his entire world shatters. The impossible sight of a doll sneering at him is too much for his heart to handle. His chest tightens, his face drains of color, and panic takes over. He gasps, clutches his chest, and collapses from a massive heart attack, dead before Chucky even lays a hand on him. Brutal, not because it's bloody, but because it shows that sometimes fear itself is the weapon. Chucky stands over him, laughing at how easy it was. Cochran thought he was the scariest man in the school, but one glimpse of Chucky ended him instantly. No knife, no blood, just sheer terror. A death that proves Chucky doesn't always need to get messy to win. Garbage truck victim. One of the nastiest deaths in Child's Play. 3 comes courtesy of a garbage truck. A cadet is lured into the back of the vehicle, and before he realizes the danger, Chucky slams the hatch shut. Then the compactor roars to life. The walls grind inward, hydraulics hissing as metal crushes metal. The boy screams, banging on the sides, begging to be let out. His voice grows frantic, then desperate, but there's no escape. Chucky pulls the levers with a grin, laughing as the compactor squeezes tighter. The sounds are horrific, bone snapping, flesh tearing, and the agonizing squeal of machinery. The cadet's cries grow weaker until silence takes over, leaving only the mechanical groan of the truck finishing its work. Brutal because it's industrial and merciless. There's no drama, no flair, just slow, unstoppable crushing. Chucky doesn't even need to stab him. He lets the machine do all the work, savoring every second of the helpless screams. Damien Baylock. In Bride of Chucky, Damien tries way too hard to impress Tiffany by acting dark and edgy. He brags about death, flaunts his lip piercing, and pretends to be hardcore. Tiffany pretends to play along, but Chucky is already bored. Damien finds himself cuffed to the bed, and that's when Chucky strikes. First, he rips Damien's lip ring right out, leaving him screaming and bleeding. Then he grabs a pillow, presses it over Damien's face, and holds tight. Damien thrashes violently, muffled cries seeping through the fabric, but the cuffs keep him trapped. His legs kick, his chest heaves, but nothing breaks the grip. Chucky chuckles, enjoying the pathetic struggle, holding on until Damien finally goes still. Brutal because it mixes humiliation with pain, Damien wanted to look like a monster. But in the end, he's just another victim, suffocated under a pillow by a doll half his size. Chief Warren Kincaid. Chief Kincaid in Bride of Chucky gets one of the most gruesome deaths of the series. Snooping around where he shouldn't, he stumbles upon Chucky and Tiffany. Tiffany springs her trap and an airbag explodes, slamming him into a wall of nails. They embed deep into his face, blood pouring as he staggers back, looking like a horrific parody of Pinhead. Dazed and horrified, he tries to stand, but Chucky finishes the job with a knife, stabbing him with relish. Brutal because it's theatrical. This isn't just about killing Kincaid, it's about making a grotesque display. The nails, the airbag, the knife, it's over-the-top horror with Chucky's signature flair. A death designed to shock, disgust, and entertain all at once. Redman. In Seed of Chucky, Redman plays himself, but his celebrity status doesn't save him. During dinner with Jennifer Tilly, his sleazy attitude rubs Tiffany the wrong way. And when Tiffany's angry, blood is sure to follow. Without warning, she slashes him across the stomach. His smug expression vanishes instantly as his guts spill across the table. Redmond gasps, clutches his wound, and stumbles as blood soaks the dinner cloth. His breaths turn shallow, and he collapses to the floor while Tiffany calmly watches. Brutal because it's so casual. No setup, no delay, just one sudden, vicious slash in the middle of a quiet dinner. The contrast between the normal setting and the gore makes it unforgettable, and Tiffany proves she's every bit as lethal as Chucky when she wants to be. Barb Pierce. In Curse of Chucky, Barb's death is as savage as it is shocking. Curious about Chucky, she takes him upstairs to inspect him. At first, it's almost funny. She's poking around, annoyed, trying to figure out why this doll feels off. But when she pulls back part of his stitches and sees his eye roll to look directly at her, panic sets in. Before she can scream, Chucky springs to life. He drives his knife straight into her eye, the blade sinking deep as blood pours. Barb shrieks in agony, collapsing to the floor, clawing at the wound. Chucky twists the knife, laughing as she convulses. Her screams echo through the house before cutting off completely. Brutal because eye stabs are personal and disturbing. It's invasive, painful, and impossible to watch without cringing. Barb may have been cruel to Nika, but Chucky makes sure her death is unforgettable. Bloody, shocking, and horrifying. Nika Pierce. Finally, in Cult of Chucky, Nika faces one of the cruelest fates in the series. After surviving Chucky's attacks before, she's fought hard to stay alive. But Chucky has a different plan for her. Using his voodoo ritual, he transfers his soul into Nika's body. Her eyes change, her voice shifts, and suddenly, Chucky is grinning through her face. Nika is trapped, powerless, silenced. She isn't stabbed or shot, she's erased. Her body isn't hers anymore, her life stolen, her identity consumed. Chucky walks away in her skin, leaving the real Nika locked inside, forced to watch as he uses her body for his own amusement. Brutal because it's psychological annihilation. It's not blood or gore, but the total destruction of self. In a franchise full of gruesome deaths, this one might be the cruelest of all.